was written in 1992. And as far as I can tell, that was the last writing on the process of the Clearness Committee, and half of it was devoted to discernment. I'm in the process of finalizing a Pendle Hill pamphlet on the Clearness Committee now to sort of update some of this.
Great.
So
I hope. So the point is.
all right. So to you, what did you notice? What happened? Again, let me just say, the guideline on confidentiality. So please do not divulge the content of what was spoken, but your experience of the process for yourself.
As a focus person, I felt safe enough with these friends to tell some secrets I hadn't told the Quakers before.
So a sense of safety. Thank you. Yes.
It's a tremendously deeply felt concern.
Say more, please.
But,
Could you say more? I'm not quite sure I follow.
a deeply felt concern that other people should be aware of this and for the greater good.
I'm feeling a wonderful sense of the worthiness that I have felt of listening, of being trusted, but also the worthiness of the focus person.
Yes. So the writer David Oxburgh says, being listened to is so close to being loved that most of us cannot tell the difference. Being listened to is so close to being loved that most of us can't tell the difference. So an act of love, really. Other observations? Yes.
What you just said, that sense of not just, when I went into this, I didn't expect to be the focus person, and it was like, well, it's an exercise, and someone should be the focus person. So I shared something it was really, really deeply carrying around. I mean, it wasn't something just that I pulled out of my head to be in the training, but this group asked such deep and caring questions and challenging questions. And I felt like that challenge was a big part of that love and listening. You know, it wasn't just making it easy, but really trying to kind of pull out what was in me.
Thank you.
I worried a little bit as a listener. Well, first of all, I felt incredible love while I was listening and also questioning, but I worried about the questions, the difference between open and maybe psychological digging, which are different than, the kind of leading things you said, but I worried about that, and I wanted to ask, were my questions intrusive? I wanted to ask that while asking.
So this is a question that often arises in every single Clearness Committee, the quality of the questions. Are they probative? Are they leading? Do they come from a place of generosity? So just as a brief rule of thumb, and we could have a whole session on just that one point, I would say a simple way to discern that is to simply ask yourself, what is this question in service of? What is this question in service of? If it is in service of mere curiosity, the invitation is to restrain oneself. If the question comes from a place of generosity and love, that is probably an open question. So maybe one last question before we turn a corner. Yes.
One of the things that arose for me as we came back into the group was that as my friends were listening, the importance of being a very authentic focus person is for me to listen very actively to myself.
So thank you for that. Douglas Steer, on Listening to One Another, 1955. To listen another person's into a condition of disclosure and discovery may be almost the greatest gift that one human being ever gives to another, to listen another person into a condition of disclosure and discovery may be almost the greatest gift that one human being gives to another. Very old school and very true. So we listen with a sense of interiority to ourselves and to each other. We're not a lone wolf. We are together. And when the committee is working in this way together, we call that gathered. We have a gathered group of friends.
What was that point again? Discovery and what was the other part?
Douglas Steer? Discovery and disclosure. Disclosure.
Can you say it one more time?
So, yeah, I might have that and I can send that to friends.
You can write it up on a flip chart.
I will.
We could do that during lunch. I can do that during lunch.
So unless there is something burning that you'd like to invite into this, to the center of the circle, so to speak,